Hello, it's me. Welcome back. 2023 is nearly over, so I thought I would do another Get Ready With Me video just to reminisce about 2023 and ambitions for 2024. So, yeah, that's it basically. Let's get into it. Just as a quick disclaimer, it might get a bit deep. Talking about the old Menti B. Well, no, talking about the old Menti H and all that fun stuff, but I'll try and keep it light-hearted, but sometimes life just be like that. So I need to start off with taking out my piercings and putting on a wig cap, which is always so grand. I've only recently started taking out my piercings for cosplay, because I would used to leave them in. But then I was meant to do a Good Omen shoot with a mate, but then I dropped out last second because I got overwhelmed. But I had taken out the piercings and I just preferred how it looked, so that's who I am now. I'm one of those people who takes out their piercings. I've got classical music playing in my ear because my attention span is that of a kid with ADHD who needs a Subway Surfers playing in the background. Do I need Subway Surfers playing in the background at all times now? Yes, I do. Oh, I didn't say who I was cosplaying. I'm going to be doing Sailor Moon, but Usagi, not so like casual Sailor Moon, because I'm doing like a little New Year's shoot for her. I say that, I'm taking pictures in my parents' living room with fireworks on the TV, because I'm cool like that. Now we have entered egg mode, I need to prime and then do my brows. But with that being said, let us talk about 2023. I hoped 2023 would be a lot better than 2022 for me. I think many people did. However, I would say it was a mixture of both. So it had its good bits, but also it had its very bad bits. Like, the bad bits were needed, I will be brutally honest, because with the bad stuff that happened, it actually meant I had to deal with my mental health issues, which I've been putting off for ages, and I actually sought help and now had therapy and on medication. Whoa, look at me go. You may have noticed that there wasn't a lot of posts from me in the past year, and that's because I took a break from vlogging conventions because I wanted to find the enjoyment of going to cons again, if that makes sense, because I found myself just vlogging it and not actually embracing it. And then even when I wanted to vlog it again, I just forgot. There wasn't a lot. I wasn't doing anything really exciting that I felt was vlog worthy at the time, so that's why there was a pause on that. I did go to cons this year, just didn't vlog them. I just went as a regular human being, and also because I was with like new friends and I wasn't sure if they'd be comfortable with me vlogging them, because not everyone wants to be on camera, though all of us are cosplayers, so all of us would probably be used to being on camera. Sorry if I look in the viewfinder, I just find myself that pretty. Yeah, and then I also just didn't have the motivation or drive to actually cosplay as well, because cosplaying is one of those hobbies where if you're enjoying it, you're enjoying it, but if you're not, it's very hard to get the drive to do anything with it. Like, you could have the ideas, you can have the motivation, but you don't want to do anything with it. So I was sort of in that slump where I didn't really have the drive or inspiration to do anything. Yeah, and then that also ties in with what was going on with my anxiety. Now, those of you who know me IRL know that I've been dealing with anxiety for a hot minute, but I just sort of ignored it and was just like, yeah, it'll be fine, it'll go away on its own. Don't do that if you're dealing with anxiety, because it just trains your body that it's okay to be anxious, and that if you feel a little bit anxious, you're immediately going to just run away. Wow, the lights are being aggressive. You're immediately just going to run away from it. and then you lower your tolerance, as my therapist said. So my tolerance got to be piss poor, to the point where I had missed a class at uni, and then I got behind on a bit of work, and because I hadn't done that work, and because I was slightly behind and I hadn't been in, my body went into fight or flight mode, thinking, oh my god, I can't go in, like, you're going to be asked questions, da 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 da. And then I was just having severe panic attacks outside my university, being unable to go in, which is very helpful when you're trying to get an education in a practical subject. Not helpful at all. So that went on for a couple of months until it was basically the entire third term. I did try and reach out to the tutors, but the closest I got to going into the building, I actually got in, but I ended up having a panic attack in the toilet and then ran straight out. Like, it was not healthy. I was on the phone to my mates, be like crying, because like I wanted to go in and I knew it was a bit ridiculous, but like I just couldn't do it. And then that affected my work, and I almost got kicked out of uni. That's hopefully been sorted. I should be returning in April. I was made to take a break in studies to actually deal with my mental health problems. So yeah, but then because I felt like a failure in that, I sort of hit a depressive slump, and I didn't want to do anything. Like, I was meant to go to Dokumi, the German convention, but man couldn't enter his own building in England, and he expected himself to go on a plane to Germany to a convention he's never been to before. Yeah, so that didn't happen. And then that was all my cons for the year. I really didn't do a lot convention wise as well, because man was broke, because man had too much anxiety to bloody work. I just poked myself in the eye with a spoolie. Don't do that. I also was realising I wasn't getting enjoyment from things as I used to. So, like, I didn't understand why I enjoyed sewing or stuff like that. And I was sort of in this thing of just like, well, what's the point of doing it if I don't find enjoyment from it? Because I didn't understand why I liked it. And I was just like, clearly I do, because I've been doing it for so long. But why, I couldn't tell you. And it's just like, I had the one big sew project of the year, which was Tainari, and I remember trying it on when it was like, you know, at that point where it's just like you can see it coming together, and I was so happy with it. But then I started to cry because I had never, like, it had been so long since I felt genuinely happy about something that it made me sad that it was the first bit of actual joy and happiness I'd felt in a while. And so it was a very like melancholy moment. Man got therapy, because not being able to function in life ain't very helpful. Part of the reason why I've been so hesitant to get help for my mental health was purely because I didn't think I'd be taken seriously, because I'd heard so many horror stories about people. I'm in the UK, if you couldn't tell, hello, free health service, yay. But the way people had been treated with mental health stuff, and them just getting pushed aside and not being believed. But I was truly at a breaking point, and I'm so grateful that the doctors actually listened to me, because like, I was bad. Shout out to my mate Stephen, who kindly sat there on the phone as I was crying in a forest, which was very fun. But I am doing a lot better now. Now it's come to the end half, well, the end section of the year. I've actually been out and been social. My anxiety has improved tenfold. I can ask for stuff in shops. I can do things like go into places without worrying too much. And like, I know that sounds like silly things, but I'm actually able to do the things that I've wanted to do which I'd been put off from doing because of the anxiety. Like, I started volunteering at a local theatre that I'd wanted to do, you know, to get some practical theatre experience and stuff, which I hadn't done in ages. I went to a Genshin event, which was a lot of fun. It was so much fun going to that. I went with a friend, and she unfortunately got trapped outside because she didn't pre-book her ticket. But I was able to talk. I just went up to some people and was just like, hey, can you help me do this? And they were like, yeah. So, and that was a big thing for me, because if it was at the height of my anxiety, then I would not have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to leave the house, because with things like that have happened in the past, I would get so anxious, like the night before, the day of, that I would just not go, because I was just like, well, if I don't go, then I don't feel anxious, so then it's okay, which isn't good. But now I've learned, like, it's okay to be anxious, because normally there's a valid reason. But the thing you're being anxious about probably isn't a worry. Because my anxiety with that was, like, I was going to be overdressed. It was a Genshin event and I was going in cosplay. There's going to be other cosplayers there. Like, it doesn't matter. And who gives a toss what other people think? And that is something I've had to learn as well. Like, I have been so concerned about other people's perception and view of me that I just need to, like, let that go, and, like, so what if other people don't like you or don't like what you're doing? Like, as long as you're not being, like, terribly racist or homophobic or something like that. I was, like, anxious to post on my personal Instagram, the one where I made it so I could post silly, like, out of cosplay stuff, because I was worried the people on there would judge me for it. Which makes no sense, because nobody gives a toss what you post on Instagram. You know, there were some good things that happened in 2023. It wasn't just me learning to not give a shit about other people thinking, and me having severe panic attacks and not being able to go into places. There were also some good bits, which I want to share with you all. So, like I mentioned earlier, man cosplayed Tainari. Well, Tignari, I'm sorry, I am English, I will mispronounce the name. It was my big boy cosplay, and I did the masquerading him in London, and met some lovely people, and I was so proud of that cosplay. And I got to cosplay it with my mate Erin, and he did Sino, and he looked amazing, and we got some amazing photos from that shoot. It was also, like, my first 3D printed prop. Like, it was a lot of firsts for me, because I did silhouette cutting, severe pattern making, and the trousers were like, these were like some of the first cosplay trousers that I could move around in comfortably, because if you remember my King Freddy, I could not sit down, or Jareth, something like that. This time, I could move around, I could kneel, I could sit on the floor, and I was comfortable. It fit, like, the cosplay fit me well. And I've worn it now a couple of times, because I wore it to Hyper Japan and to the Genshin event, and I plan to get a lot of wear out of it, because it was mighty expensive. But, like, it was a lovely, lovely thing to try and do new things. It was a lot of suede. I've still got a bunch of leftover navy suede, because I overestimated how much I needed, which, if you know me, isn't a surprise. I remember when Tignari design first got released, and I remember looking at it being like, I want to cosplay him, but thinking I want to make it, but I don't think, like, looking at how complicated it was, I was just like, I don't think I'll be able to do it. But the fact I did it, and I did it to a standard I was happy with, man, bloody insane, nearly unheard of. Yeah, and then just MCM as well was a lot of fun. I got to see my mate Katie do her steed, and it was beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. It was just so good. And I've actually now watched the Gay Pirate Show. Did I get spoilers for Gay Pirate Show. Did I get emotionally invested to Izzy Hands to be emotionally devastated? Yes. Izzy Hands cosplayer is on the list. I saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show again. Saw that in central London this time with my mate Van, and it was quite amusing because, for those who don't know, Van is from Germany, and Germany is very strict on a certain historical figure and attributes to what that historical figure did. So in the German version of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, there is no connotations about Dr. Von Scott. So I had to explain to them, like, yeah, it's a running gag that he is a you-know-what. And they were like, we did not know that, because they censored that. I was just like, to be fair, that makes sense. Because why wouldn't you censor that? And also, I don't get why it's a running gag in the show. I went to a ball. Me and Katie went to a ball. There was a Labyrinth convention, and it was in High Wycombe. They had a masquerade ball. Not only was there a ball, but those of you who know of Rosie G cosplay, who was a big inspiration for me in my cosplay journey. Her, Sarah, and the person she did Jareth with were big inspirations for me starting my own. And she went, and I met her, like, life aspirations. Childhood me shook. But yeah, was the convention a bit meh? The tickets were 150 quid. Was it a bit meh? A tad. Now, I only say that is because it was in a field, and which is fine. We got to meet the Frouds, you know, that was all good, and there weren't a lot of expectations. But when it came to the ball itself, there was one bar for the hundreds of people who went. There was no other refreshments, and it was the equivalent, I want to say, to an English prom. Sort of like a tent. It was in a tent, but it was a lot of fun, and we danced around and swirled, and watching my face, my stones fell off my Jareth jacket as they do, so I was just picking them up as we went. And both Becca and Katie had a dance with Jareth, and then there was this long, because there was actors there who were doing Jareth and Sarah. There was a long line for Jareth, but there was not a line for Sarah, and I felt so bad. And I was just like, I asked one of the members of staff, I was just like, is it too late to book a dance with Sarah? Because it was like £10 for a dance with Sarah or Jareth. Jareth had sold out, Sarah was still available. They were like, I don't see why not. If they're still available, you should be able to do it. And I was just like, are you sure? Because I'm going to do it. And they were like, yeah, if you just show us the confirmation. So I did it, and then I had a dance with Sarah, and she was amazing. I felt so bad, but she was taller than me. And those of you who know me know I am not a coordinated person. We were dancing, and I was slipping and sliding. But she was in character the entire time, and it was such a cool interaction, because she was just like, I will get my brother back. I was just like, I'd like to see you try, and stuff like that. So it was a really cool interaction. And just the costumes as well that people were wearing. There was an amazing wormtail coat, and then there were the fieries, like, in ball gowns with masks. And it was just amazing to see all these fantastic costumes, and everyone brought together via Labyrinth. We were also hanging out with two of Becca's mates, Mars and Lindsay. Amazing costumes. Mars and Lindsay, absolutely stunning. But what was really funny was Lindsay was also doing Jareth, and Lindsay's a whole lot taller than me, so it literally looked like Jareth and Jareth Jr., and it was just amazing. And they had this amazing prop mask that they made, and oh, it was stunning, and they allowed me to hold it, and I was just like, oh my god, the mask, it's so cool. And then it was a 2-day event, and then on the Sunday we saw actual costumes from the movie, and we got to see Toby's film, his new film, which was really cool. And yeah, but it also rained a bunch, which is not good. The first day was boiling hot, the second day was freezing. It wasn't cold, but it was just raining, which wasn't ideal. Sorry, I got distracted by the music that's playing. It's the Totoro theme. Yay! Oh, that's something that happened. I saw the Totoro stage show which was so cool. Like I said, this year, like, the goods have been good. Well, the goods have been great, but like it has mainly been a focus on me getting my mental health in order, basically, which is good. Oh dear, and that is why I'm here today. That being said, 2024, I have some goals, I have some aspirations, I've got some things I want to achieve. Now, is it a bit silly to anchor your stuff that you want to achieve on a year? Because it's just like new year, new me. A little bit. But it's just because a lot of the events are happening in 2024, so that's why. But like, you can make a change in your life whenever you want. You're not limited to waiting to the new year. But my main goal for 2024 is to enter the Crown masquerade thing, the big boy masquerade, because shout out to Katie again, the wise one. She thinks that my sewing is on a level where it is crown worthy, and you know what, if she thinks I can do it, I believe her, because she is wise. She answers my silly question of the day nearly every day. Has she told me my silly question is getting a bit too silly sometimes? Maybe, but that's fine. That is my goal. I want to do Hua Chong, but my own design of him, because I love him. But he is a ghost king, and I don't think he dresses as... He's a powerful geezer, and I think he can dress a bit more like a boss-ass bitch than he does. I know it's because he's like, gaga. But I'm like, no, I want... So I've been working on that design. The design isn't finished yet. I need to figure out the sleeve situation, because I need to do some little tests, because that's the realm of the silly questions I was going. Oh, hello. Because I needed to figure out what would work. And Katie was just like, do a mock-up. And I was just like, no, you should know how gravity works, and you should be able to tell me if this works. No. So I have a series of designs which are just sat there waiting for me to do miniature mock-ups to see what works, but I've been quite lazy with it. Also because my sewing space gets really cold in the winter, so I have maybe been putting it off, maybe just a tad, but I do want to get that sorted before 2023 ends, which means I can just focus on making during 2024. Because like, not only do I want to do the costume, but I want to try and make his sword, as well as maybe try and make an umbrella. Because those of you who knows, he has his umbrella that was gifted to him by Gaga when he was a child. Also, talking about Heaven's Official Blessing, I have a smashing idea for a Heaven's Official Blessing CMV, which I really want to do, but that's going to require a lot of planning, because though it's not a long song, what I want to do with it is going to be quite complex, because I want it to show the history of them together and sort of like the never-ending cascade of love. Yeah, so that's another plan, because I know that's going to take a while to sort out, not just like filming wise, but costume wise as well, because it's going to require costume changes. My recording stopped, but I have someone on board to film that CMV. I also have a bunch of ideas for videos, cosplay videos, and sort of making videos that I want to do for little YouTube, because now I have sort of the motivation again. It's not really the motivation. I have ideas, and I have the drive, and I've got the power. We say hungry, we devour. I found the joy for it again. Not really the joy, but like, I know what I want to do with it, because for a while cosplay for me just sort of seemed like, oh yeah, get into cosplay, take some pictures, do a TikTok, you know. But then I had no ideas for TikTok. Like, I was in a creative drought, you know, and that's okay. And you just, I was just comparing myself to other people. This brush is still short of wax, so I wash my brushes. And it's just like, you shouldn't compare yourself to other people. I know that. But it's very hard not to, especially in such a social media based environment. Social media basically where you're constantly exposed to other people and they're constantly exposed to you. So it's very hard to take a step back and just focus on what you're doing. But I found since I've started doing that a little bit, I'm finding more enjoyment of it. Like, I posted a wig video and, like, I'm not good at wigs. I wanted to do it, you know? So I did. Sod it. Like, why the hell not? So I've got some ideas. A lot of them I've realised are gaming based. So it's just going to be characters, like me cosplaying characters and then in character playing the games as them. Which, is it that creative? No. But, like, I get to live my, like, 13-year-old self's fantasy of being, like, a gaming YouTuber via cosplaying, which will be amazing. So keep an eye out for that. Those are my ideas. I also want to do some more making videos because I did the making video for that Merlin jacket years ago, and that is horrific. All of these brushes are still slightly wet. It's really grim. But, like, there's some bits that I want to make that I know if I tie it to making a video, then I have a reason to make it. Because I tend to struggle with the fact, like, if it's not, unless I'm, like, hyper focused in on said build, I will lose interest for it. And I will lose interest quickly. So it's very much if I have the inspo to do it, I need to do it straight away. But if I start filming that stuff, then I've got a second motivation to do it. Not just to make the thing, but to film the thing as well. Yeah, so, like, I want to do a video on remaking my Edward Elric arm, or because I actually read the book for Howl's Moving Castle, I want to make, because I found it hilarious, the fact that he's Welsh and he goes all the way to Wales and he just gets drunk. So I want to make his, like, rugby jacket. I saw another person do his rugby jacket and that just inspired me even more. I just want to make stuff, man. I want to have fun. Oh yeah, by a window. If you can't tell, I've upped my game because I'm now facing the window, not like the last Get Ready With Me that I did where the lighting was all whack. Oh god, I'm really patchy under there. Love that for me. I need my setting powder. And also I have the goal of going back to uni, because as mentioned earlier, I was put on a break in studies to deal with my mental health, which I would like to say I have dealt with really well. But, like, you're never going to be 100% okay, and that's alright. But you need to learn how to manage it, which I think I have. Well, I've learnt to manage it better, so gone really English then. It is time for eyeshadow. Methinks I'm going for a Douyin look. It's like the Chinese makeup look where it's, like, nice and glossy. That is my aim. I want to look cute because I am doing Usagi and she is cutesy. Oh dear, what did I do for Christmas? I did Makima for Christmas and oh, boss bitch energy. Freaking love that. I also want to do more photo shoots. Like, I have ideas for an Ashlink shoot. Sorry, I'm going down here now because I'm thinking eye-wise what I want. I want a cool-toned brown. Well, this is a bit of a palaver, isn't it? I don't know what. You? No, you're mainly. Ah, I found it. Mainly. I did think I would have more to talk about. But I sort of sped through all of my talking topics when I was doing my eyebrows. So yeah. How was your 2023? It wasn't the year I hoped it would be, but it was the year I kind of needed. because it put a lot of things in perspective, which is good. Because sometimes you do need things to be put in perspective, especially when. Because I'm quite a fortunate person. I know that straight up. And sometimes you just need that kick in the arse to do what you need to do. Which I definitely got. Oh dear. But I definitely want to say I'm in a better place. I feel more content. I wouldn't say content's the right word. I would say I don't know what I would say really. It took me an hour to brush out her wig, right? Sorry, I'm changing subjects. It took me an hour to brush out her wig. And like I knew it would take a while. Which is fair. Because did I brush it out properly the last time I wore her? Nope. But with the entire sort of like lack of drive and wanting to cosplay, doing the like chory bits of cosplay, like wig styling, if you don't have the motivation to do the fun bit, like sit down and do some makeup or like go out and cosplay with friends, like you're not going to want to sit down and do the boring bit that you hate of like brushing out the wig. I don't actually mind brushing out wigs, I just hate how long it takes. Or wig styling in general. Like, I've learned now, it's just a year of learning, I've learned now to embrace the way of wigs I can do, because as much as I love natural wigs, I'm not at a point where I can execute them well. When I first started wig styling, I was trying to do like the anime spikes. I'm slightly better at that, and it is slightly easier to do that. So I've decided I'm just going to focus on wigs that way and getting that to a level where I'm happy with it, rather than try and push myself too far trying to do like a wig style I'm not familiar with, if that makes sense. That's all I've got, so what I might do is just time lapse this. Honestly, if it does look bad, I don't think Usagi would have good makeup. I love her, but she is a bit of a dimwit. I don't want it to be too harsh, but I do want to have like enough of a base where like if I put pink and glitter on it, it will be noticeable. But I was just about to go on a rant about glitter, so I'm going to continue on that said rant. Babyface cosplay. If you spent 2 seconds with her, you will become glitter. You will be finding glitter in orifices you did not know you would be able to find glitter. And you may think I'm joking, but I am not. There we go. Look at me being so... I'm a pen! I look so gosh darn cute. So this is the base look done. I'm going to go pop on the wig and the outfit, and then I will be right back. Ta-da! I'm really happy with how this turned out. Thank you all so much for watching. Sorry I ran out of things to talk about. Apparently my 2023 wasn't as exciting as I thought it was, and my 2024 aspirations are quite meagre as well. But I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye!